Reinforcing memory can be done by close observation. So when I'm looking into an interior space, sometimes I start by actually creating an observed drawing, and I like to feel the space, perhaps initially feeling the things that are closest to me in space. So on the table in front of me, I have a bowl and I have a little clipboard, and I'm using a continuous contour line. I am observing as I draw, but I'm creating this drawing with a continuous contour line because I feel like it enhances flow. It doesn't get me so caught up with the outcome. And my eye literally has to kind of follow a journey in space from what's really close up to me to ultimately what's further away. So these are the objects close to me, and then as I move out across the next table, there's some little rocks on that table. I'm feeling that next sort of zone of space, coming across to a chair that's sticking out beyond the table. And I'm really just trying to relax. These are chairs I had as a kid. Actually, my dad had them as a kid too. So there's definitely some nostalgia attached to them. A little speaker sitting on the table. I'm not really caught up on like the perfect perspective right now. I'm traveling out in space past the chair, past this next table, up to this column. It comes all the way up to the ceiling and down. And then from the column, I can go even further back into space. There's some bookshelves really far out in the distance. I can come over to the door, which is also way back in the distance. There's some paintings leaning up against the wall. So I've traveled from really near in space to much further back in space in this drawing. Now I'm going to try this from memory now that I've created that drawing. So I'm not going to look at the scene now, but I'm going to try and trust what I saw, and I'm remembering this sort of connection between the hand and the eye. I'm remembering some of the things that were in front of me. I remember that there were some jars of pencils. There was another table. And I really believe that I wouldn't necessarily remember these things as well if I hadn't tried to draw them first, and I hadn't sort of felt them in a spatial sequence as they moved away from me in space, feeling where they situate physically on the table. I remember there's a column coming up, down again. And again, I'm keeping it in this continuous contour line quality because I feel like that really helps me create more of a sense of flow, more of a sense of memory. So here's my one from memory. Here's my one from observation. They're not particularly realistic, but they do resonate with each other. So trying this idea of drawing from close to far, and then trying to create a drawing purely from memory where you're not really looking at your subject anymore is a great exercise for reinforcing memory. And then you can flip it and you can try drawing from really far away to really close up and try that again from memory. So this idea of contour line, observation, and really feeling the space and occupying the space.